Mia LaPierre is alive. The woman who understood Dexter's darkness and used it against him never died. And if that's true, Dexter's resurrection isn't redemption. It's a war between two predators pretending to be human. Let's dive into it. Mia LaPierre wasn't just another killer. She was a storm in human form, calculated, magnetic, and terrifyingly righteous. She killed men who deserved punishment, at least in her mind. Rapists, abusers, predators. Sound familiar? It should. She followed a code, her own, twisted version of Harry's. But unlike Dexter, Mia didn't kill to contain her darkness. She killed to feel powerful, to prove that pain could make her God. Dexter recognized something dangerous in her, a reflection too close to home. He saw her as a mirror that didn't lie. And that's what made her death so convenient. It closed the chapter he was too afraid to face. But what if that death was an illusion? What if Mia never stopped hunting? Everyone saw Mia's body. The blood, the crime scene, everything looked final. But what if it wasn't? What if the person who killed her wasn't her enemy, but her pawn? Mia was a master manipulator, someone who could twist guilt into loyalty. She didn't just kill people, she converted them. So maybe her death wasn't an execution. Maybe it was a performance, a staged ending to disappear in plain sight. Because if anyone could convince a killer to help fake her death, it was her. And if that's true, then somewhere out there, Lady Vengeance is still watching, patient, calculating, waiting for the right moment to step back into Dexter's world. That's the real horror of Mia's survival. She doesn't just threaten his life, she tempts his purpose. And for Dexter Morgan, temptation is the sharpest weapon of all. Because every killer Dexter's ever faced has mirrored a piece of him. Trinity's control, Brian's obsession, Hannah's love twisted into violence. But Mia? She's something else entirely. She doesn't want to destroy Dexter. She wants to recruit him. In her mind, they're divine equals. Two predators chosen to cleanse the world through blood. She once told him, "You call it killing, I call it balance." And that one line alone could pull Dexter right back into the chaos he thought he'd escaped. Because unlike his past enemies, Mia doesn't fight him with fear. She fights him with understanding. And that's the one thing Dexter's never been able to resist. So here's the question. If Mia never died, would Dexter stop her or join her? Mia's survival would expose everything Dexter denies about himself. She kills without remorse. He claims to have rules, but under that code, he's just as addicted as she is. Mia strips away the illusion that Dexter is different. She sees the truth, that his code isn't morality, it's management. And she'd say something like, "You hide behind your father's rules because you're scared to admit what you are." I'm not. That line would haunt him, because deep down she's right. Mia doesn't kill out of need, she kills out of choice. That makes her free. And Dexter, her prisoner. You could argue that what really bound Dexter and Mia together wasn't violence, it was admiration. Every killer Dexter ever met either feared him, hated him, or tried to stop him. But Mia? She wanted to understand him. That's what made her dangerous. Their chemistry wasn't built on love, it was built on recognition. She saw through him completely, and he liked it. When Dexter looked at Mia, he didn't see a threat. He saw a partner, maybe even an equal. Someone who didn't ask him to justify what he was, only to admit it. And that's seductive. Because for someone like Dexter, power isn't just about control, it's about being seen without shame. Mia offered that in the most twisted way possible. She made him feel normal. Fans noticed that even the actress hinted that Mia's story wasn't over. In one interview, she smirked when asked if Mia's death was final and said, "Let's just say, vengeance never dies." Maybe that was a tease, or maybe it was a warning. Either way, if Mia survived, her love for Dexter wouldn't be romance. It would be domination disguised as devotion. Now the story turns. Dexter begins tracking her, but every clue she leaves feels intentional. Like a trail built just for him. Each body is a lesson. Each scene is a signature. She's communicating through death, and Dexter's obsession grows. He stops calling her a monster. He calls her Mia again. The hunter is becoming her student. That's where the real tension lies, not in fear, but in fascination. He's never met someone who kills for pleasure and admits it. It's honesty through blood. And for a man who spent his life pretending, that honesty is intoxicating. Let's talk about the ripple effect. If Mia lived, the dominoes would fall fast. Harrison would return to find his father hunting another killer. Again. But this time, the lines are blurred. Angela Bishop would see the pattern and start questioning whether Dexter ever changed. Even Blessing Kamara, the man who saved Dexter after his coma, would begin to see the truth. Mia's existence turns Dexter's fragile second life into a house of mirrors. Every reflection shows the same face, his. If Mia had lived, she would have forced Dexter, and all of us, to question what morality even means. She never claimed to be good. She never justified her kills with fake ethics. And that honesty made her terrifying. Dexter hides behind the code, pretending his murders are a form of justice. Mia doesn't bother pretending. She kills because she wants to, and that difference exposes a truth Dexter's always avoided. Maybe morality is just madness with better PR. Mia once said, "Guilt is the only cage people build for themselves." That line alone sums up her entire worldview. She believed guilt was weakness, not conscience. And that's what separates her from Dexter. He kills to feel in control. She kills to feel alive. But here's the irony. Dexter's restraint makes him predictable. Mia's chaos makes her unstoppable. If she never died, Dexter's moral compass would implode. Every rule Harry taught him would crumble in her presence, because Mia doesn't play by anyone's rules, not even her own. And that's the scariest part. She doesn't need a code. She is the code. If Mia LaPierre had survived, she wouldn't just come back as a killer. She'd come back as a symbol. Lady Vengeance would become a myth the internet feeds on. A faceless movement, gathering followers who see her as justice made flesh. Every video, every message would turn her into something larger than life, the dark angel who kills what the system can't. And that's where things get dangerous for Dexter. Because once the world starts cheering for someone like Mia, his own existence stops making sense. For years, he believed he was the necessary evil, the silent force cleaning up society's filth. But if Mia makes killing look righteous, then Dexter isn't a protector anymore. He's a relic, a man built for a world that no longer needs him. And for Dexter Morgan, becoming obsolete is worse than death. See, every killer Dexter's ever faced reflected a flaw in him. Trinity's control, Brian's devotion, Hannah's twisted love. But Mia, she's the evolution of all of them. She doesn't want to end Dexter's story. She wants to rewrite it. Her message, her methods, even her public image would start eroding his sense of moral order. She'd show the world, and Dexter himself, that the line between justice and ego was never as clean as he believed. That's her real power, not violence. Influence. She turns Dexter's private code into a public ideology, one that questions whether Harry's rules ever meant anything at all. And as her following grows, Dexter's silence becomes his prison. He can't stop her, because to expose her would be to expose himself. He can't join her, because she stands for everything he's afraid he might truly be. So he watches. He studies her like a ghost, the ghost of his own design. Because Mia doesn't need to kill Dexter to destroy him. She just needs to make the world believe she's right. And that's the most terrifying possibility of all. Not that Mia never died, but that her idea survived. An idea that whispers to every dark impulse he's ever had. You were never a monster, Dexter. You were just ahead of your time. So what does it all come down to? If Mia never died, Dexter's resurrection wouldn't mark redemption. It would mark exposure. Her survival would strip away the illusion that Dexter ever wanted to be good. Because he's not chasing humanity. He's studying it, mimicking it, perfecting the disguise. Mia, on the other hand, never hides behind morality. She embraces what Dexter denies, that killing isn't about justice or code. It's about control. And that's what makes her more dangerous than any enemy he's faced. She's proof that the monster doesn't need rules to survive. It just needs honesty. So maybe Mia LaPierre never died. Maybe she evolved. Maybe she's the next version of the Dark Passenger, one that doesn't whisper from inside, but speaks through others. Because in the end, Mia wasn't Dexter's opposite. She was his evolution. And if she ever returns, the question won't be whether Dexter kills her, it'll be whether he finally admits he's just like her. If you thought this theory was dark, wait until you see our next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.